What's up, everybody? We're back. I'm StephenMotivate here with my host. I am Steve James. What's up, bro?
What's poppin'? We in here, man.
We back.
Yes, sir.
It's good to be with you again. It's good to come to our audience again. Wealthy Thoughts. Look, we're always talking to people that are entrepreneurs that are either wanting to get started or already started. And we're trying to help you to either continue or to just get going in the first place. So, but in order to do that, sometimes you don't have everything you need to do it by yourself. And this is not really just finding people to help you. Sometimes you got to find people that are like on your level or even beyond your level. And so we want to talk about bracing yourself for partnerships because, you know, and I heard this recently, bro, like the school system. I heard somebody talking about this, like the way that was all set up, where like, you know, if I look over at the next person, I'm cheating. If, you know, it was all like, oh, everybody's got to, which is so backwards. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm trying to learn something, if math is going to help the world, if me knowing math is going to help anybody, what does it matter if I learn it from the person right next to me? Like this whole, like, we can't share and we can't learn together. It was actually like self-destructive and kind of keeps us all competing against each other instead of collaborating together. I think the dude was on, I forget what podcast he was on. I think The Vault with Ash Cash. And it's like, look how the tables were set up in classrooms. Everything was set up like in these rows. Why was it not set up in circles? Mm-hmm. Because God forbid we talk to each other. God forbid we learn together. God forbid we figure out the answer to the problem. No, let's all think about how we can compete with one another and how we can like have a hierarchy on each other. And that's not the mindset you need when you're trying to be an entrepreneur. You need to brace your mindset for partnerships, knowing this, that you're probably going to have to do some rework with your brain. Because your whole life, your whole education, you've been trying to figure out how to compete with everybody. Mm-hmm. So how can I now think, oh, wait, I ain't got to necessarily compete. I can actually collaborate and we can both solve the big problem.
Mm. I like that. My motto is partnership over pride. Mm. And I like that saying because, you know, we get caught up in the I factor, or I want to be known for this, or I'm the one who started this, and I'm the one who rah 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 rah. You know what I mean? Like we get caught up in that.
I'm the king of the jungle.
Yeah, you know, and it's like that's just not the play, and it's not the play because number one, no one cares.
No one cares.
And number two, you're only going to go so far by having that mentality.
Yep.
So, you know, it would behoove you
right
to partner up and to build your team and to get in the habit of realizing that partnering up is a good deed.
Yeah.
Because not only are you allowing yourself to learn from that person, but you are splitting the risk.
Yes.
And I think that's a big thing. It's like, okay, let's go buy this lot and then build this house. It's going to cost $200. You got $100, I got $100. Let's do the deal.
Yep.
Now it's different than you saying, I'm like, oh, I got this deal, give me $200. And just let me, it's like, no, everyone has their roles. Everyone has their things that they have to do. Once we get into that mindset of allowing these JV deals, allowing the partnerships and done the right way, operating agreement. We're not just partnering up and not having no paperwork.
Right. Get that paperwork.
This is what we're doing, and everything states in this operating agreement.
Yeah, it states how we gonna run stuff. If we disagree, whatnot. But you have to still let go of your pride because that agreement and reality may not always match. That agreement really is for if stuff really start to go wrong.
Yeah.
If we really stop seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
Like if we got to go to the paper on it, things have gotten a little rough.
Yeah.
Right? We should be able to partner knowing that we're going to do stuff right on paper, but I think embracing ourselves for partnerships, the tough part is you've got to be willing to, one, still like keep some humanity about yourself.
Yeah.
Meaning like some stuff might go wrong with the partnership.
It will.
And
Something's
gonna go wrong.
things just happen, and it's not a bad thing. It's a learning curve that you have to get over.
And with good partnerships, you need to be at least at the beginning giving people a benefit of the doubt, at least at first. Now, hopefully you chose a partner that you feel comfortable giving, like y'all have some type of history.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about this a little bit before, but you don't just partner with any Joe Schmo that you ain't never done, you ain't never even went to the McDonald's with.
Yeah.
Like, come on, let's make sure we understand the personalities, the people that we're partnering with a bit. But when we get into that partnership and something goes wrong, because if something hasn't gone wrong yet, it probably will at some point. And let's make sure we give people the benefit of the doubt, because we can't automatically start going to the paper. Oh, well, you didn't call me back in 24 hours. So according to that, now I own this part of the company and only talk to me through your lawyers.
Yeah.
Like, wait, that's not the way we should do things.
Yeah, relax.
Relax, please.
Relax, grasshopper. Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that a lot of people have trust issues, and I understand it.
Yeah.
When you've been burnt so many times, it's like, why should I trust you? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are at that, like, I just don't know. I'll do it myself. So, and that's the mentality that slows down the process.
Well, and you're going to be able to do some stuff yourself, but what you can do with someone else is more than likely going to be greater than what you can do alone.
Yeah, facts.
Period. But you got to be willing to take put that pride to the side and say, all right, I'm going to take a 50%, or I'm going to take 25%, or I'm going to take 60, or like, I'm okay with partnering because I'd rather build something more meaningful than keep everything to myself.
Right.
And grow up a little bit in the process. Because if you got trust issues with your business partner, you probably got trust issues with your family, your friends, yourself. Like, you got to put yourself out there a little bit at some point if you want to grow. Like, if you want to grow exponentially. Like, yeah, we could build something small and you own everything, and that's fine. But, and maybe partnership isn't for everybody, but what we're building now with Wealthy Thoughts, like we could both be doing, and we've done stuff on our own, and we will do stuff on our own. But what we bring together is a bit bigger. It's just a bit more powerful because your audience and my
that's exactly what I was going to say. Everyone thinks of partnership as this big, like, it's a gray area.
Yeah,
but it's like, if I have a following of 10,000, 15,000 people, and we only have 400 mutual friends out of that, you're bringing a whole, you know what I mean? Like, your following is totally different than my following.
Right.
You have a core following that people are listening to you, listening to the knowledge that you're giving, and the same with me.
Yeah.
So why not combine those together and put ourselves in a situation to grow even bigger? It just only makes sense. And a lot of people don't have that. No. You know what I mean? Like, they would rather not partner and not get the deal done than to partner and get the deal done.
Yeah. And it's like you're stopping yourself from being the best you could be, from going to the highest level you could go to. And here's another thing I see people doing, partnering with the wrong people. Now, I will say this: number one, on the type of people you need to partner with, they should likely do something either that you don't do or bring something you don't have. Like in terms of the audience, they've got to be bringing something to the table for you to partner with them. And I feel like some of us partner, but we partnering with our auntie. And it's like, okay, that's nice, but what is auntie bringing to the table?
Yep.
Right? Let's partner with let's make a partnership that really is going to build the business. And I think another thing we got to discuss is you have to be willing to compromise on some stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's not always going to be your way.
For sure.
It's not always going to be my way. Like, let's get into the habit of knowing that, okay, let's set the mics up this way. Let's set the couch up this way. Let's do the lights like this. Let's add this. Let's add that. And people that aren't willing to compromise a little bit, no, I only need to have it like, that's probably going to be a sign that
it's not a good partnership.
that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like, what has that person showed you in the past that shows, okay, they have a level where they're willing to compromise a bit? You know, when you partner with people, what have you seen from them where it's like, okay, I can tell this person does good business, is not just one-sided, is willing to be fair about things. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And the part that I see a lot happening is we have to get, like, when it comes to partnership, when it comes to partnering, even though because everyone is like chasing that person, like let's just say, someone, they've already made it in their field, and it's like, man, I really admire that person. I would love to work with that person. Da 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 da. But your friend or your homie is right, and he's following that person that you're already modeling yourself after, that you want to work with.
Yeah.
But your homie or your partner or somebody can use that same exact service that you're looking to give to someone else. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes that opportunity is in your backyard.
Yeah.
And it's with someone close to you. So when it comes to your resources, like, I always tell people to make sure you're looking at your inner first before you try to go out of that thing. Because prime example for, let's just say, musician, right? Engineer, someone that makes that producer. There's a lot of producers that are out here trying to, like, oh, I got to get the mainstream artists. You know what I mean? Let me get this big, instead of building with your homie who is talented.
Yeah.
Like, be that next 50. Be that next Drake in 40.
Right.
You know what I mean? Be
Right.
that combo. Be that Future in Zaytoven. You know what I mean? Be that person that builds right now from the ground up, instead of trying to chase that thing that's already has its glitz and glamour.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I see that a lot. It's like, build with that person. Your buddy got a clothing line that's out, and you are a marketer or a graphic designer or whatever you are. If you can add value to that, then add value to that. Yeah. Work that partnership out where it makes sense for the both of you, because now you're growing something that is going to eventually work.
Yeah.
But it's not going to work if you're not taking it serious and you're not, adding value to the situation.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, speaking of clothing, I'm wearing the St. James hat right now. Tell the people about the brand, where they can find it, how they can get it, and how they can partner up with you in that way by spreading that brand message to their communities.
Yeah, for sure. St. James is, it's a streetwear brand, luxury, good quality. And we're not shaving off the top when it comes to the quality. We're really focusing on that, that customer service, and just giving a good quality feel that's affordable for people. Because we this is a perfect time for brands to pop because there's so much controversy that's going on with the bigger brands and the subliminal stuff that they're doing.
Yeah.
It gets a little like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like, but your homie got a brand right there, but you're still supporting these other things.
Right.
And everyone's guilty of it. I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of designer stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like now I'm like, I literally did 2020. I called you. I'm like, bro, I'm cleaning this closet out. I'm gonna be St. James out. I'm gonna be Fortune and Few out. I'm gonna be Winfield Rams. Like any of my homies that are doing stuff, Nap or nothing. Like there's so many dope brands that are out. We just have to embrace that and start floating our dollars around in that space
and support that. So we're gonna put links in the video information down below of brands that we're supporting, that you can support, that you don't have, that you're still gonna get great quality, great apparel, you're still gonna look fresh. You don't have to sacrifice those things, but you can partner up with folks that are in your circles, folks that you actually know that are about good things.
So putting out dope product.
Dope product. Yeah, absolutely. And so the other thing I think is important in terms of partnering up is, one, you want to partner with folks that do something you don't do. To your point, you don't want to just run towards the celeb. Support the person, partner up with the person that's close to you in your circle. And then I think another thing is like partnering in a way where it's like folks that are, what would I call it? Like you want to partner with people that are actually like good at what they do, right? And you know for sure that in that partnership, all right, there's going to be a value exchange, which I've kind of already talked about. Mm-hmm. But it's just a matter of you not, because I want people to partner up with folks that's in their circle too, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I also don't want you to partner up if that person isn't really going anywhere.
Yeah.
Or you need to understand that's not really a partnership. A partnership is when both folks are bringing something to the table.
Yeah. You're both adding value to one another.
Yeah. If you're investing in somebody or you're like trying to create something, that's different. Because now you're actually got a seed that you're trying to help sprout out the ground, and more of the work is going to be on you. And I see that sometimes with folks that are trying to get artists to pop, or trying to support different people, and they may have talent, but are they doing the other things that are necessary? Do they take their craft serious? Or are you the one basically doing all the work to help kind of lift them up? And if you are, it's fine. It's just not really a partnership. And so you have to be careful about putting that partnership label on everything if it's not really an exchange. Like both groups need to be bringing something to the table. And it ain't always got to be money.
Right.
It could be time. It could be that person's giving their time and you're giving them money. It could be that person is the marketer and you're the strategic person. It
could be the knowledge.
It could be the knowledge that they have and you got the money. It could be joint ventures like we was talking about. Like there are multiple ways to partner up, but you just have to embrace the fact that, okay, if I do this myself, the cap of where I can go is going to be lower. I'm going to enjoy the fact that I'm doing it all myself, but 100,000 might be all I get to.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in the past. I think Jigga said it. Like at some point, these folks that have these brands, some of these people will end up selling to bigger companies because you need to exit businesses. And now that person may partner up with a bigger group, but it now makes they smaller percentage worth more.
Right.
And they're going to create millionaires and wealth for a lot of people. So I think a lot of people miss that point too, that it's like, partnering up does sometimes have a future goal in the end, but at least you're not capping yourself off too early.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm just going to have my small store and I'm not going to let nobody else in on it. No, give away some share if you need to.
Yeah. And that's the attachment issue. Because, a lot of times when you start a business, it's tough to part ways with that. Because it's like, oh, this is my baby. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't want to. But the whole goal of starting a business is to sell it.
Yeah.
Like, that should be everyone's exit strategy. Let me pad the numbers. Let me grow this thing so much that someone comes and buys me out.
Yep.
That's just like St. James. Now, St. James is different because that's my son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm passing that down for him, but best believe if someone says, oh, I got 15 million for you right now, what am I doing?
All right, we're gonna have the conversation.
Here you go.
Let's talk right away.
You know what I mean? And then start another thing. Like, it's we have to put ourselves in situations where we get closer to that goal. And if that goal is to build something and just to keep going, then I want to be on the beach sipping a pina colada with my family.
Yep.
Chilling.
But that is the thing. Like, people exit companies. And
Right.
I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, they don't.
They know about starting, but they don't know about exiting.
Yeah.
Like, exiting a company through a sale or through some type of you getting bought out or something is the proper path typically for how you extract all the value
Right.
that you've put into that business, all that sweat equity you've put into that business, all them years you wasn't getting paid. You know, St. James ain't just start. You've been putting work in.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, somebody's got to pay for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So that's part of the cycle of things, and many people don't understand that. But the third thing I want to bring up in terms of partnering up, and we was talking about this at breakfast today, was that for those of you that are spiritual, I always wonder, like, are we really with our businesses partnering up with God? Like, are we really like taking the time to get quiet, meditate, to really think about, okay, God, are you blessing this thing? Because I'm doing the work. Now, I feel like a lot of people don't end up doing the work and they asking God to do something. It's like, come on, that's not. Let's
have to
be
work
real. You've got to work it. Don't ask God to bless nothing that's a mess. Like, it needs to be something worth blessing. And when I say blessing, I know that's like spiritual talk. But my point is that we need to be like praying for our businesses. We need to be trying to partner with God in our businesses because, like, we're trying to do good things.
Right.
We're trying to, like, build stuff for our children and give them legacy and give people good quality without having these subliminal weird stuff involved. And I think people underestimate the fact that, especially if you believe in like the spirit world and stuff like that, like, the devil don't like that.
Right.
He don't like the fact that you trying to do something positive.
Yeah.
And all this negative stuff coming at you, some of that stuff is just evil stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just trying to make you miserable because you're trying to do something more than what positive and more than what people around you maybe have done in the past, etc. So you've got to be willing to, like, recognize that I probably need to partner with God in my business.
Yeah.
And, like,
That's a bar too.
Yeah, like, come on. I'm doing everything I know how to do. What else could be keeping stuff from not really popping?
Yeah.
It's probably something spiritual.
Yeah.
It's probably something demonic trying to stop me from, like, why do they keep trying to take that contract? Or why are they not giving me that space? Or da-da-da-da-da. Like, some of that stuff, like, you need to pray on that.
Yeah. No, that's a fact. And, you know, that's such a powerful statement because, you know, a lot of people, there's so much controversy when it comes to religion, and it's crazy. You know what I mean? But it's like, this is what I believe in, and I know that God has gotten me out of numerous of situations.
Yeah.
And because when you think about it, it's like, well, who else did?
Right.
It's like, how did I dodge that situation? I mean, we've been in situations where our lives was spared.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, that is something that, you know, you have to put yourself in a situation where you're adding God to your business and praying over your business and praying over your employees who's helping you run that business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we talk about just, you know, relationships and marriages being unequally yoked. Like, I feel like that's the same thing when it comes to, you know, your business.
Right.
Like, you know, the people, and that's just so hard because now we're in a day and age where some people don't believe in God.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, I can't base my business off of like, oh, I gotta have a Christian only working in my business. Like it's impossible. It would be, I shouldn't say it's impossible, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it could be tough starting out
It's
trying
tough.
to make that a and it's probably illegal one.
Right.
You can't really even probably do that.
If you're not running a church.
Right.
Like,
If you ain't running a church,
running the
you
business.
can't be
Like, yeah,
tell me what your religion is again. Like
only God-fearing soldiers can work here. Yeah, but I mean, no, that
God-fearing
you know,
soldiers.
that is you have to pray over your business, man. You have to have that type of guidance, because if not, you're just shooting in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like it's just and I know churches probably do this type of stuff, but where they'll like pray over their church and stuff, but you just have to look at your business like my business can also be a benefit to God. Like it's a good thing to be able to participate in the economy. And the economy's tricky. Like it's not like black and white, right? But the idea that you're trying to do something, especially when you come from what we come from, and there's been so many like limitations on what you supposed to do and can do and all these like hidden weird agendas and stuff. It's like God probably supports that, and he probably wants to see you do well. And who would not want, if you believe in this, again, who would not want to see you do well? Right? What type of energy doesn't want you to see you do well? And you just want to, you know, and it can be something simple like, God, just bless my business. That could be your prayer.
Yep.
Those 2 or 3 words, you know, 4 words, right? It's like just those small things could be that little bit of spiritual protection you need to keep everything going and flowing. Because this really hit me personally last year, and I'm not gonna go all the way into it, but you ended up and your team ended up helping a whole lot. But we was in a situation where it was like everything was about to explode. We couldn't even find the materials that we had purchased.
Yeah.
They were basically lost at sea.
Yeah.
So like there are situations that's gonna come up and you're not gonna be able to explain how you got out of it, except for you gonna have to, you know, I don't know how you're gonna explain it. For me, I was like, okay, I can't explain this. When there's stuff that I can't explain, boom, I credit that to God.
Yeah.
Immediately. I can't explain that.
Yeah,
I don't know how we got out of that jam.
Yeah, I can't explain it to you. Shout out to Trig.
Shout out to Trig. Trig knows. That was a jamboree jam. And we'll talk about it at some point, but my point is that really helped me in my faith, because that was right after my dad had passed. I'm dealing with I'm like, this is the biggest craziness. We have hundreds of thousands of dollars basically lost. Do you know the type of anxiety and the type of craziness you feel if you ain't got no foundation and you just felt like you lost not only your money but other people's money?
Yeah,
That's a different type of pressure, and you got to have some guards up, because now what if I would have lost my mind too soon? Yeah. And now I think it may have took us 2 or 3 weeks to get that whole situation figured out, but it ended up getting figured out. But that was a point where I was like, oh my goodness. And it was
yeah, it was tough. I know how much pressure you saw, because it felt like it was
I mean, you calling everybody. UPS can't tell you where it's at.
Yeah.
Can't nobody tell you where it's at. It's somewhere over here. Huh?
Yeah.
And y'all was real instrumental, but that's like God using our friendship and our connection and brotherhood to be like, okay, so you need the right partnerships.
Yeah.
Because like, what if I'm trying to do everything alone and I don't want to tell nobody what I got going on? No, I need to tell my brother, because you never know how he might need to be able to help me.
Right.
And we didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah. That was one of those things that you can't explain.
Can't explain it.
It was just perfect timing.
Perfect timing. So you need the right partners, man, and you got to brace yourself for it. Trying to do everything yourself is the hard way.
Yeah. It's not only the hard way, it's the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's the wrong way. You have to put yourself in a position right now to utilize your resources. Like I say it all the time. We have $1 billion phone. We have $1 million phone in your hand of a whole Rolodex of people that can change your life. But you're not going to know unless you reach out to them. You're not going to know by hoarding that information in and not telling anybody, because it just won't happen. It just won't happen. That idea will sit there dormant and it'll just never come to fruition.
Yep. Because you didn't want to partner.
Yep.
So that's it, man. Partnerships are a major key in all those different areas. Don't be afraid to partner. What'd you say earlier?
Partnership over pride.
Partnership over pride. Wealthy Thoughts.
We out of here.
We out. Peace.